All right, everyone, we are now in chapter 10 for pre-algebra. We're going to be talking about measurement, area, and volume. So today we're starting off with 10.1, all right, and we are going to be talking about triangles. And you're thinking, oh, we've already talked about triangles. I don't want to hear about triangles anymore. Well, unfortunately, if you don't want to hear about it, there's really nothing I can do because we are going to learn about them. But we haven't exhausted everything there is to know about triangles, so it's not going to be repetition. We're going to be learning more stuff. Okay, triangles are cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do with triangles. There's a lot behind triangles. There's a lot of math there that we haven't touched yet. So that's what we're doing. So hang on tight. So the first thing we're going to talk about is classifying triangles by their sides. Now we've classified by their angles before, right? I said, hey, if that is a 110-degree angle in that triangle, I don't even have to know what these other angles are because I already know this is an obtuse triangle. And you'd be correct, but we're going to learn about equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. All right, so let's go and talk about equilateral triangles real quick. Equilateral triangles all have the same side measure, right? So there are three congruent sides. Okay, congruent, same length. Congruent means same length. All right, so now we can move to isosceles. What do we notice about the isosceles triangle? Well, here we have two congruent sides, right? So two congruent sides. These guys are 6, but this one's 9. And then over to scalene. We talk about scalene triangles. Well, what do we notice? There are no congruent sides on a scalene triangle. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to use what we know about triangles to solve for x, okay? So we're solving for x, so it's there, and there's another x there. And I know the perimeter is 65 centimeters, so do I know enough information to actually solve for x? Well, actually I do, don't I? Because we know that the perimeter of a triangle is equal to one side plus the other side plus the other side. So I'll say perimeter equals side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. All right, so what do I know? Well, let's see. I know the perimeter. It's actually 65. Okay. That equals side 1. We'll call this side 1 there. Well, that's 2x plus side 2. I guess we'll go there and call that side 2. So that's, well, x plus side 3. We'll call this guy side 3. And it's 20. Okay. So can I solve for x? Well, yeah, I can, because we know from solving equations we can combine like terms, which I have right here. Okay, so that would now get me 65 equals 2x plus x is 3x plus 20. Got to solve for x and get it by itself. So how do I do that? Well, let's subtract 20 from both sides. And that'll give us 45 equals 3x, and those cancel. And if we just divide by 3 and divide by 3, those cancel and get us x equals 15. And we're talking about centimeters here, okay? So we've solved for x. We know that x is 15 centimeters. But what if I said, hey, how long is that side right there? Well, they'd say, hey, it's actually 15, right? That side is, cross that little guy out, that's 15 centimeters. Cool. But what about that side, though? Well, if x is 15 centimeters, then 2x means that that side right there is actually 2 times 15, which is 30 centimeters. And, of course, we already know that one's 20 centimeters. So now what can we figure out the perimeter? Or can we check to see if it matches the perimeter? Yeah. 15 plus 20 would be 35, plus another 35 equals 65, and conveniently enough, they told us the perimeter was 65 centimeters, so we actually did it correctly. And then we could actually, lastly, kind of name the triangle, right, or at least say what type it is. If this is 15, this is 30, and that's 20, then we know it's a scalene triangle because it has no congruent sides. All right, so I want you to pause the video and I want you to try this problem. Okay, solve for x, then classify the triangle by its side length. I give you the perimeter, now just find x. All right, so if it were me, I would say, hey, you know what? I've been given the perimeter, and I know the formula for perimeter of a triangle, right? It is P equals side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. So, plug in what we know. Do I know the perimeter? Yeah. It's 974 miles. They just told us from up there. And that equals side 1, which is 3x, plus side 2, which is also 3x, plus side 3, which is 200. All right. So now if I'm going to solve this, 3x and 3x gets me 6x plus 200. Okay, got to get x by itself, but this plus 200 is in the way, so I'm going to subtract 200. All right, and that's going to get me 774. That equals 6x. So those cancel. And if I just divide by 6 and divide by 6, 774 divided by 6 actually gets you, kind of an odd number, we don't deal with it much, but 129 equals x, right? Okay, so we solve for x, it's 129. And so what kind of triangle is this? Well, I got to know what these side lengths are, and this is 3x. And if x equals 129, then 3x must be, well, 3 times 129, and that gets you 387. So this side is 387, that side is 387, and then we already know that's 200. So now that I know all three side lengths, what kind of triangle is it? Well, it's isosceles, because I have two sides that are the same, one that is different. But here's my question. Did I even need to solve for x to know what kind of triangle it was? No, because I knew this was 200, and this side was 3x, and this side was 3x. Well, both of these sides, even though they weren't numbers, they were just terms, right? 3x, they were both 3x. Therefore, they were both going to be the same, so it was isosceles from the very beginning anyway. So yeah, there you go. Alright guys, short video, that's all I have for you. I look forward to seeing you in class and talking about this.